Alright, y'all, what if Tanjiro was a demon? Cause screw you. Yeah, we're gonna do a Demon Slayer, what if? And then we're doing... I'll post the Naruto one. Cause for whatever reason, the Naruto one wouldn't go through. So I'll repost it. And the way that this is gonna happen is... So, from birth, Tanjiro was already half demon. Nobody knew, but he was already strong as fuck. Like, legit. And the way that this happened was, Muzan fucked his mom. Like, legit. He wasn't kidding in the manga when he said, "Nigga, I'm the Fresh Prince of Pop, I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I'm the Fresh Prince of fucking your mom." And Tanjiro literally said, "What?" And then when he became a demon, he went, "You asshole, you fucked my mother." Like, legit. That's actually what happened. But anywho, so, Tanjiro. Well, he's basically like raised as a normal child, but like he trains a lot, and like this is what he wear on a daily basis. He inherited his father's sun breathing. So yeah, sun breathing, fire breathing, water breathing, and beast breathing, which Inosuke has, but he developed it before Inosuke. But anyhow, so he's experimenting with like all these breathing techniques, and he comes up with an 11th style for all of them. Like, legit, this man is a fucking genius. And his blood demon art, what should his blood demon art be? His blood demon art is regeneration. And gives him fucking regeneration. So he's basically the freaking ultimate demon. And like he's always had like a dark side, but like he keeps it under wraps while his parents are around, but when they aren't around, nigga goes straight up to his, just how he would actually act. And then Nezuko, I'm gonna say that Tanjiro has her do it instead this time because he wants to look after their mother. He gets the demon blood poured on his open wound, and now he fully turns into a demon. And now he fully has it, and then, like, I'm gonna say the demon that attacked was Muzan. And he says, "Hey, Dad." And he says, "Son, you remember me?" And he says, "Nigga, where's 15 years of child support?" And he says, I gotta go now. And he says, "Nah, nigga, I'm coming with you. You don't fuck my shit up." But yeah. And so, when she sees all of them killed, or no, before Tanjiro used to go with Muzan, she sees all of them killed, and she's like, "Huh?" And so, then, when Tanjiro gets up, and, like, she sees, like, the blood and stuff, like, on his mouth and around him, she says, "So you really are a demon? Then I'll fight to kill you." And he says, you can go ahead and try, but it won't happen. And she's like, yes, it will. And he pulls out a sword and he says, no, it won't. And then he says, thunder breathing, 8th style, thunderclap, bear miss. And he unsheathes his sword a little, and then she's in bed, and she said, what did you even do? And he says, thunder style. Or he said, thunder breathing, 8th style, thunderclap, release. And then a big lightning bolt strikes her. Like, it fries her a little, but it don't kill her. And so he said, let that be a lesson. And so, our nigga, he leaves. He's messing around with moves on for a bit, training, getting them gains. And then Nezuko, she joins the Demon Slayer Corps, and they ask her why she joined the Demon Slayer Corps. Well, Zenitsu asked, and she said, I want to kill my older brother. He became a demon. Or, he was one from the start, but he kept it under wraps until half a year ago. Because I'm gonna say she trained a little harder than how Tanjiro did in the canon. But, so they go on their first, mission when, they had went into the house and fought all the demons and stuff, the one that had the bongos that changed the rooms. My nigga Tanjiro was there. And he was just sitting down in a room drinking sake, which is alcohol. And he says, I've been waiting for you, little sister. And Zenitsu, he hears this and he says, so you're the one. And that costs her all that. And nigga falls asleep, tries to thunderclap him. He blocks his blade, and he makes him wake up, and he says, how did you? And he says, die, sun breathing, solar flare. Straight up, that's what does my special. All the cuts, pulls the blade back, flexes muscle, boom, lights the nigga on fire with the force of the sun. And he says, sun breathing, 4th technique. Solar radiance. And he rushes up to Nezuko, stabs it into her, and it just incinerates the wound, and so it burns and closes with his sword in it. And then he pulls his sword out, and the color of his blade is red. And he says, you are nothing but a feeble little twat. Now quit bothering me. I have things to do. And he walked over to, Inosuke, because he, had heard all the commotion, and he says, fight me, and he says, you are not worth the time. And he says, beast breathing, 4th technique, and he says, beast breathing, 11 technique, is what Tanjiro says. He says, 11, I only made 10, and he says, and I made the final one. God's heavenly impact. And he takes out his sword and plunges into the ground, and he says, what's that supposed to do? The ground under Inosuke starts shaking, and then, like, these shadows leak out and start pummeling his ass. And then he says, shadow breathing, second style. Dance of the dead. Arriba! Fucking mariachi band starts doing tap dancing all over his bitch ass. And then he stands up, because, like, he had knelt down during all the pain, and he said, Nezuko, remember, you are feeble. That's all you'll ever be. Get it through your skull. You are nothing compared to me. I am a god. And she says, I bet you can't survive daylight. And he pins her down. He pins all of them down until sunrise. He opens up all the blinds in the house, and he says, I can survive in sunlight for however long I want. Remember, I'm still half human. The ultimate demon. And they're like, this nigga's strong as fuck. And so the entire Demon Slayer Corps, like, go out to that position, and, like, they all see this, like, him just licking his blade off the blood, and then he just flings the blood on the ground, and he says, good, more Demon Slayers. And they're all like, nigga, who the fuck is you? And she says, that's my brother that I told you all about. Kill him for me. And he says, sun breathing. 9th technique. Incendiary fire. And they say, huh? And he pulls it out and just does a bunch of moves with it. Stabs it into the ground, and he says, release. And they all get engulfed in flames, and, like, it's burning their skin, and it gives them 2nd-degree burns. Because he didn't, like, really mean to, like, hurt them bad. He was just there to sauce on them. And he says, let that be a lesson. Water breathing. 4th style. Water tornado. He cools them all off. Sheathes his sword, and he says, now I must be going. And he walks out of the building like a boss. Oh yeah, by the way, this is going to be a mini-series, so it's only going to be like 2 parts. But yeah. And so then, Nezuko, she starts getting on them grinds, them gains. And then Tanjiro, he goes straight up to Demon Slayer headquarters, and, like, they don't sense that he's a demon. He just walks all the way up to the place. And you know that blind man? He says, are you a new Slayer? And he says, no. I'm a new demon, motherfucker. And she's the sword, decapitates him. And, like, that's when, like, one of the 2 little girls was coming out. And they were like, Master? And he says, your master's dead. With, like, a devilish grin. Keep in mind that the son of all demons, the son of the king of pop, rocked y'all niggas. Get it? 'Cause pop rock. What do you want me to do? Make a Pop Smoke reference? The fuck? What y'all niggas expect me to do with this? Nigga, I'm doing the best with the motherfucking material. Chill. But, Tanjiro, he just is laughing and like all, and then he like goes to the butterfly warehouse after killing the 2 little girls. He walks up to the butterfly warehouse and they like smell like the stench of blood. And like they open up the door and they see devilish grin. He decapitates all 3 of those little girls. You know, the precious ones that freaking... God, I hate doing this. Those 3 little girls were freaking wholesome. I don't care what you say. They were wholesome. Also, fuck you if you don't think that they are. Like, legit. And then, Kanako. Kano. No, it's really weird, because I've been watching, Infinite Shadows. And then I've been watching Plunderer, fucking... a bunch of different Gundam series. I'm going to do What If Deku was the Barbatos Lupus. Like, soon. Don't know when, but I'm going to be drawing my own custom Barbatos Lupus. Or hell, I'm gonna do the Barbatos Lupus Rex Dragon King. 'Cause why the hell not? But, or you know what? I'll just buy the model kit. Like, legit. I'll just buy the model kit parts to convert my, master grade Lupus Rex into the Dragon King. I'm gonna just do that and customize all the parts. But yeah. And so, he stabs into Kano and he says, you know, you really are quite pretty. He kisses her, puts her head into his chest, and he says, now, this will be quick and painless. Don't worry. Blood breathing art. Style 1. He said blood breathing. First form. Quiet collapse. And then this black blood oozes from his blade and goes into her veins, and it just stops her heart. And she dies. And then the one medical chick, I cannot remember her fucking name, like, whatsoever. She sees him kill her, and he wiped his blade off, like he took the blood off of his blade, and then he walked up to her and he says, you know, I've killed quite a few of you demon slayers today. You'll be the final one. I'll go after all the pillars tomorrow. Or you know what? This is a 1-part video because I just made him too fucking overpowered for this to be any more than 1 part. Like, legit. But, so Deku, he stabs her and brings the blade up and completely tears her in 2. And he says, you know, I don't have to eat humans. I just enjoy killing you all. Making you suffer. It's such a beautiful thing. And then he left. And then he went to go fight Muzan. He went to go fight his dad. He said, nigga, I'm tired of your bullshit. I'm tired of you not paying for fucking child support. I'm tired of all of this shit. He just says, huh? And he says sun breathing, water breathing, blood breathing, shadow breathing, beast breathing, hell breathing, 11 styles mix into God breathing 1. God breathing, first form, heavenly penance. And he points the blade at Muzan, and Muzan immediately gets incinerated by this light. Like, completely, he's not a thing anymore. Like, whatsoever. And he says, now, I order the 12 Kizuki. You all will bow down before me, or you will all die. And they all just rush at him. He says, God breathing, second style. God's almighty push. He stabs his sword into the ground. These 2 white hands clap and crush all of them in completely evaporation. And he says, how pitiful. The strongest demons, and they can't even pair up to 1 child. How pathetic. And he's just walking off. And he walks into the broad daylight. And he just stands outside of the Demon Slayer headquarters, waiting for all of them to return, because they all went out on a group mission. The mission on the mountain. Like, all of them, instead of just freaking Inosuke, Zenitsu, and her. But yeah. So, I'm actually gonna end this video off here. Good night.